Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is 𝚑𝚑𝚗𝚝. I'm a second year medical student at VSMU. This is the first time you guys are seeing my face. Hi. Welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. Please you all have a seat and let's get started. So this story I'm about to share is why I chose medicine and the career path, like how the journey went. Trust me, it was not easy, but yeah, how the journey went, why I later chose medicine, what are the things I had to put into consideration, and how is medical school going for me so far. So if this is something you guys are interested in, please have a seat and let's get started. So first of all, I want to talk to you guys about my high school days. So it started from my high school days. I wanted to study engineering. Actually wanted to study chemical engineering because I was pretty good in chemistry. And then I love mathematics, so I was like, okay, most of them were just from chemical engineering or any course in engineering, because I had this phobia for blood, because a lot of our seniors then used to talk about blood. They either said when you get to medical school, they're going to say that you should touch a corpse, or maybe you should stay in a place that they are bleeding, or stay in a mortuary for overnight or something like that. I don't know if you guys have come over, have heard of this thing before. So I used to hear it pretty much from my seniors, and I'm like, me? Go to that kind of scenario? No. So I was like, that really created this phobia within me. Like, it created this phobia within me. And for most parts of my secondary school, I never thought of studying medicine. Like, you know, when people say, in future, standard living, let me be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. I never did it. I get that kind of thing. I used to talk about I want to be a pharmacist, or I want to be a dietitian or engineer. I never talked about medicine. Like, medicine was just not in my mind all through my secondary school. Even like all through my secondary school, medicine was not in my mind. It never even crossed my mind. When we were doing our senior secondary school exam, I was more focused with my engineering course. Like, I took them so seriously, and I did extremely well in my engineering related courses. But in medical related courses, I just did, let's just pass this course. Like, let's just get it over with. Like, let's just do it. So I just did it like, all right, I did it and I passed it. So, like, I just did it like, okay, let me just go for this thing. I was not so serious about it, which was kind of like, if I can talk to my previous self, I would say, be serious with every course you do in any, like, whatever it takes your time, whatever what's doing well. Because I was just relaxed about that. I was relaxed with the fact that I'm going for engineering, so I'm not even bothered about medical related subject that they were teaching us in secondary school. I was not I was interested in it, but I was not so like getting the need that, okay, I must know this thing, or okay, I must get this thing, or okay, I must do extremely well in this thing. I was just not like that. But for engineering courses, I was so into them. So after secondary school, I decided I want to study chemical engineering, and I was working towards that part of getting admission to study chemical engineering until my mom advised me that, say that in school, like in this Nigerian economy, you cannot, like, studying chemical engineering was not really worth this time. Like, not like it was not worth the time. Chemical engineering is a very interesting course, but then in an economy like Nigeria, most chemical engineer, like, whenever if you study that kind of course, it's so rare for you to practice it officially, like to practice it like a 9 to 5 job. Most of the time you have to just go through this skill method and all of those things. So she advised me and just tried to encourage me more to go for medical related courses, because like medicine is actually developing, and then there's always like sort of like a job that they are always needed almost every time. And even if like they're always needed, like you just always need them. You always need medical practitioners. You always need people that you always need people that have knowledge in medicine, and like it's just something that it's always going to be needed. So she advised me that, okay, go for medical related courses. And then I said, okay, let me just go for pharmacy, because while I was in secondary school, I was like, okay, let me go for like I was actually contemplating between choosing chemical engineering or pharmacy. But then my choice of choosing chemical engineering was actually more because I was surrounded with friends that wanted to do engineering related courses, like engineer related courses. So it just motivated me. Okay, let me choose chemical engineering and all of that. So to me, and then she talked to me and actually reasoned well with it, because a lot of, like, let me just say, there are a lot of people that are not, okay, they want NYSC place. Why have they not seen job? Why has not this? Why have they not doing? Like, just bother me, because I feel like after university days, you are done. Like, you should just continue. Like, you should start living the Nollywood lifestyle that they used to show us. Sha. So I decided, okay, let me just choose pharmacy, and I applied to. I did A level because I finished my secondary school at 15 plus. So I was not yet at that 16, and I was like, okay, like at that point, I was not ready to go to university. Like, I wanted to do maybe a, let me just say, A level course, or just stay back for some time just to develop myself, because all the stress people just come home and start saying they're stressed on this, they're stressed on that. Someone fainted, someone do this, someone do that. And having sisters and seniors that are already in universities and they're coming back to tell us their experience, it's kind of scary to me. Let's talk about the professors, the lecturers, and their troubles and all of those things. So I was not yet prepared to go through that phase. I wanted to take time to go through that phase. So while I was waiting, I decided that, okay, I want to do A level, and then in my A level I did, okay, before, like, I was already doing my A level, like I was already doing my A level. In between my A level, my mom convinced me that, okay, I should go for, because I was doing A level for chemical engineering, but in between the course, my mom convinced me that I should go for pharmacy. So in between that A level course, I converted to pharmacy, because the difference between pharmacy and chemical, like engineering course, and pharmacy was just mathematics, addition of biology and mathematics. Like, they just, like, that's just the difference between that two course for A levels. So I chose, like, I just moved to pharmacy. Then I started doing biology and all those regular A level courses we were doing around that time. So A level was pretty well. It went well, life happened, and then at level, I was like, okay, let me just apply for school, and all of those things. That's when, I think that was the year COVID-19 outbreak happened in Nigeria. Like, we had this lockdown stuff, and I did jam that year. So let me just say, everything just matched each other, because I really thought that when we are on break, like when this stay back home out, like when this lockdown curfew thing were going on, I thought that all other aspects in this world have already gone. All other aspects in this world are already on a pause. Like, every other thing was on a pause. Not knowing that schools are already accepting forms. Like, even if you want to go for your, like, even if you want to change your jam to DE, because I did jam, so I was fine on going for DE, like do the DE and then go to 200 level, because I was already ready to go to university, like to go to Nigerian university, like experience Nigerian university at that time. So after that time, yeah, after the lockdown time, I was not aware of the lockdown thing. So my A level, my jam, I did not use my jam. My A level result happened. I could not use my jam. So everything was just mumbled, like everything just went down the drain. And I think I went into depression at that time, Sham. But, but then let's just continue. So I applied to a school, like my daddy knew someone in a school in Togo, so I applied to Togo to study pharmacy, and they were add. Let me just say, like, the school was pretty much okay. So I went then study pharmacy for 1 year, and then in between the classes, like in between studying pharmacy, I realized that pharmacy was not actually, like, it was not what I thought it was. Because I thought pharmacy would just be like, you guys are going to just, like, I don't know, what I thought pharmacy was not what we were teaching us in university. Like, it was not what I was experiencing. Although pharmacy school was pretty much interesting, like it was relaxed, everything. It was kind of stressful in a way, but then it was more relaxed. Like, unlike medical school, it was more relaxed, and I actually enjoyed pharmacy school while it lasted. And just like, and then let me give you guys the backstory on the pharmacy, like why I actually chose pharmacy and why medicine did not still come to my mind while I was choosing this thing. Growing up, I used to go to a pharmacy, like that was close to, there's this particular pharmacy that was close to my area then. So I used to go there. Maybe they told me to go and buy drug or something like that. So I used to go there. most of the time I would just stay behind for maybe 5-10 minutes to just look at how the pharmacy prescribe drug and how we dispense the drug, and how we just tell them that, okay, take two in one day, take this one after this one, apply this one in this place, use this one, mix this one with this, mix that with that. Like, that used to amaze me. So I used to just stay back and I'll be like, how does he even know that this is what he was doing? Like, this is what this thing was doing. Like, how does he know? And how is it pretty sure that this thing is going to be fake? Like, that question used to just come to my mind. And how is it sure? Because at times they prescribe drugs. So I'm always like, how did he even get the diagnosis to? Like, how did he get the diagnosis to prescribe that drug? So only government to get into pharmacy school. And what they were actually telling us, actually, like, when I was having conversation with my seniors and everything, I realized that that pharmacy, I thought, what I saw growing up, and I thought was pharmacy, was actually not pharmacy, was actually a part of medicine. That was like, the pharmacists were actually doing a job of a doctor, like, was partially doing a job of a doctor, which was actually wrong. But only for me to get into pharmacy school and realize that that is actually not pharmacy was not what it actually was. Like, that was not what it entails. Pharmacy rather was about pharmacy rather was about mixing, like, getting drugs, and then it wants to do, like, there are different parts of pharmacy, like, there are different branches, like, different aspects. If you want to do community pharmacy, there is community pharmacy, industrial pharmacy. You can work as an hospital, you can work in a pharmacy as an hospital. I think that was three popular choices. And I thought I wanted to do community pharmacy. But then, as community pharmacist, you cannot diagnose a patient. Nor can you, like, you can, like, you cannot diagnose a patient, nor can you prescribe drug for a patient, except in an emergency case, of course. You cannot diagnose a patient. I cannot also prescribe a drug for a patient. You can only dispense drug, because at times other factors can influence the effect of that drug in the body. So I get to realize that in pharmacy school. So I was like, okay, after 1 year, I was like, this is not what I want to do. This is not what I actually plan on using my life. Like, this was not what I plan on using this thing to do. Like, this was not what I plan on doing in future. So I decided, okay, let me just, and they were like, in between all this schooling in Togo and all of those things, there were a little bit of, like, prayer coming up, like, spirit in me that was just telling me to just pray to God. Like, there was just this prayer point coming up in my head. And then that time was also Ramadan time. So I was very prayerful around that time. Like, I was very prayerful because it was Ramadan time. And also, like, this spirit in me was just like, just pray more, pray to God for navigation. I was just praying to God for navigation and all of those things. Then at some point, I got a message from someone that was like, okay, you're actually doing, like medical line is actually for you, but then try and explore other part of medicine. Like, just try and explore that part of medicine and then pray to God for guidance. So I did, like, let me say, I did, like, prayers and all of those things. And it's like, that wasn't what I thought it was, one. And then it was not what I wanted for myself. Was what I like when I was choosing chemical engineering, like, all the courses I wanted to do, what came to my mind, like, the end point for me was actually to save life, like, to help life, to improve the quality of life, and to serve humanity, to give back to the community at some point or another, directly or indirectly. So that was just what I knew that, okay, in future, this is. So that was what I knew that, okay, in future, this is what I actually want to do. Like, this is what I see myself doing. So I just knew that either, like, when I was choosing this career path, I knew that at the end of the day, like, the end goal for me was just to serve humanity, to give back to the community, and to improve someone's life, either directly or indirectly, like, just to give back, improve someone's life, either directly or indirectly. So that was just what I see myself doing in future. So I said, okay, this is not what I actually thought pharmacy was. So I took it, like, let's say, after that first year, before going to second year, I just took a break that, let me go to Nigeria and then just figure it out. So that time, my mind was actually on nursing or medicine, either to study nursing or to study medicine. So I was just like, okay, I was checking the pros and the cons on Insta, on social medias. I checked YouTubers, I checked Google for some time. Then at some point, I decided, okay, I think I read an article that motivated me to motivated me to do shadowing, because shadowing is something that Like you just be sure that okay, this is what I actually want to do. So I shadowed, let me just say, when I got to Nigeria, I told my parents, and it was just the grace of God that made them actually see it from my point of view. Because like imagine you already sent a child to school for 1 year, only for her to come back and be like, this course she's doing is not what she wants to do. Like I thank God for having a parent like mine, and then I feel their patience. Like I'm very grateful for their patience and their support. Like I'm very, very grateful for that. So I did shadowing there. Like I applied to an hospital, like this, like it was a specialist hospital. So I applied to the hospital and did shadowing for about 6 months. When I was doing the shadowing, I realized that I actually don't want to do nursing because of certain reason. Like to me, nursing require more of care, like requires more of care, more of attention. Like you have to just do more, and it's a lot. Like it was a lot of work mentally for me. It was a lot of work. Always go into patients, talk to them, even if you're not happy, regardless of your mood, you always have to go there, be happy, show up, and even if, and at times, in there are different scenarios that even at times you get a bad news from, like you are coming back from a ward and they had a bad news or something bad happened, and they're going to go to the next ward. Maybe it's a place that there is something joyous happen, or maybe a miracle happen, or something like that. You have to just go into that other ward smiling. So it was kind of difficult for me. Although I later realized that as a doctor, I also have to. This is something I also have to develop on and then work on. But then for nurses, like it was just more of emotional. Like it was just more towards the emotional aspect, because nurses are more closer to patients. Like they are actually more closer to patients. You literally see like patients at times. You are the patient yourself. You guys want to the extent that when the patient is going, you'll be like, come again soon. You'll be like, come again soon, because like that's how strong nurses and patients bond is. So it was kind of interesting. Like doing that intern for me was quite interesting. Like I'm so happy I did it. But then at some point, there were just sometimes that I feel like, okay, this thing cannot happen. There were just some while like there were just some decisions the doctors made, and I feel like, okay, even if I'm a doctor, I cannot make this kind of decision, or in this kind of scenario, I'll use this better approach, or maybe listen to the nurses or something like that. So I decided that, okay, nursing is not what I actually want to do. Let me just do medicine, because there were some things, let me just say, there were some rules and regulations that were used in this thing, in the department. And also, let me just say, later on, I found out that in most hospitals, that did not sit right to me. So, and I want to bring about this positive change. And they said that in order to make any change, like it has to start from you. So I said, okay, let me just make the change. So I chose medicine. That was how I chose medicine, and I got admission. So that year I chose medicine. I did jam, and then I started applying to study medicine abroad, because medicine in Nigeria, like that's 6 years, and then this ASU strike coming up, like this ASU strike going on, and also like I think at that time 3 years. I think people that enter university 3 years, all of them are still in 100 level. It was that bad. It was that bad. So I was like, okay, I actually like I've spent a lot of time figuring out which course I want to do. So I could not afford to wait another year, or to waste another year, or wait for this ASU strike to. I could not afford to wait for another year, and also I could not afford to just decide, like after taking so much time to choose which course I want to do, only for me to finish that, only for me to apply for that course, and then ASU strike to just add 2 years to someone's years. Ah. So I could not afford that. So I just started applying abroad, like applied to quite a number of universities abroad. And let me just take you back to my secondary school. I did not do extremely well with my biology courses. So that was like with my medical courses rather. So that was like kind of like a fear in me. Like it created this fear in me. But then God being so good, almost all the universities I applied for, about 60% of them I get positive feedback that okay, my result is qualified to study medicine in their universities. But then I have to do like there's always this medical entrance exam, interviews, and then I had to look inward and then just just to think inward because it has to be real and genuine. So I had to think inward, like check myself, like what actually triggered this medicine coming on. Because at times we make decisions unconsciously, like we make some decisions unconsciously, and these decisions is something that our brain will not forget. It will just keep it in this part of your brain, like it will just keep it, and then later in life you just realize that okay, this is actually something I decide, like this is something I actually wanted to do 5 years ago. This is actually something I talked about 6 years ago, 2 years ago, and all of those things. So that kind of thing happens to me. So I want like doing NSAS, my house my house was close to this general hospital, like on let me just say my house is close to this general hospital. So at that NSAS time, a lot of people, let me just say a lot of people were being rushed to the hospital, and then they had this shortage of staffs because some doctors were on leave, some nurses are already off their shift. And like it was just around this time that people are like nurses are leaving their shift, and then like nurses are leaving their shift and then incoming nurses are just resuming their shift. So this like if you're familiar with this kind of thing, like this process, like let me just say in an hospital when I was doing my shadowing, while I was doing in an hospital while I was doing my shadowing, whenever they are about to change this shift, like this shift things takes some time because you have to hand over previous cases and all of those things. So that created like this kind of delay for people that were coming in and also shortage of staffs and all of those things. So at that point, I was just like, God, please save them. Like, God, please save them because a lot of people were dying. Like, I saw bone. Like, I'm just laughing. It's actually not a very funny experience for me. It was like I was shaking. I saw human bone. Like, I've not yet even studied anatomy then. I saw human bone. Like, the flesh were out, the muscles, like, all the this thing were out. I was seeing the bone. And then they were washing people. Like, the experience was just too much. So I was like, I wish, like, at that point, I was like, I wish I was a doctor. At least I know something about medicine. I would have loved to volunteer and then help to save, like, at least save a life. But then I had no idea about medicine, and that was like a crucial time. So nobody will even teach you how to do this and how to that, and then licensing, of course. So that was what made me just decide that. Then I realized, okay, I would actually love to do like something to give back to humanity. I think that was what stamped that fact, because that I would actually love to do something that would give back to the society and then improve someone's quality of life or way of life in one way or another. So I think like then in my letter of motivation, I just showed my experience in exams and how I felt genuinely, like how I felt genuinely, and then my experience and all of the things together, and I was able to get into most. Let me just say I did it for about 3 or 4 universities, but they were the final shortlisted universities that I actually wanted to go to, and I was able to get admission to all these universities. So I got admission to Poland, to Belarus, then I applied to Poland. So this thing I like this license, like this exam stuff, I did it for Poland first before Belarus. Before what happened because I was unable to get Poland visa from Nigeria embassy, so I had to just change my this thing to Belarus because life happens. So yeah, this is where I'll be drawing the curtain today. If you guys enjoy the story time, please like, subscribe, and share to people that you find that this experience of mine can encourage or just change their decision or just make them think it's true. And if you watch to this point, please like, subscribe, and if you guys are yeah, let me just impute this. If there is like anything I can I can tell my younger self regarding this like this career path, I would just say that shadowing before even applying to university, like before you apply to university, whichever course you just have in your mind, just try to shadow that course, like try to shadow them, try to see how their day-to-day life experience was. Like try to just go there, even if it's for a month or 2 weeks or so, just try to have an experience of how the real life application of whatever course you're planning on studying is, so you'll be sure that this is what you want to do. Because I think being I actually shadowed pharmacies, like actually took time to shadow pharmacy before choosing pharmacy, or like before choosing pharmacy as a course, I think I would have made a better decision. Or when I get to pharmacy school, I will not be shocked to realize that what the pharmacist I was growing up, what I thought the pharmacist I was growing up did was actually the right thing. I would have just made a better decision. And also, another thing I would advise my younger self to do, or you guys, like anyone that needs this, anyone that is going through this, to do is to pray. Because at times, this journey of schooling is actually not easy. Like, it's something that you have to involve God in, because at times you feel like this thing is actually good for you, but then it's bad for you. And at times you feel like, okay, I'm good in this course, I'm good in that course, let me choose this, let me choose this, let me choose that. At times it's not about the course you like. It's not about the course you like. Yeah, I got that right. It's not about the course you like. Because there's this thing that they'll be like, okay, you're good in biology, so study medicine, you're good in this, so study this, you're good in that, so study that. It's not always about all that. It's just about your interest and also how hard you are willing to work. Because if you are good in, I'm just saying, I have some friends that actually studied engineering, and then at times I just ask them, okay, how is engineering school going? They're always like, they thought engineering is about mathematics and further math. They don't know that it's about they don't know that it's about a lot more, like it entails a lot more. Just because the course highlights is this particular course and you're good at it does not mean that you will actually do well in that course. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So yeah, just because the course you're applying for highlights is something you are good at does not mean you do exceptionally well in the course. And also not because just because the course you're applying for is something that maybe you're not really good at does not mean there is no chance for improvement or you doing better. Because if someone tell me that I'll be in medical school or I'll apply to medical school, I'll tell them they're a big liar. Because medicine, as I said before, was not something that I even it was not something that I even talked to my friends about, not even jokingly said I want to do. But now I'm doing well, thank God, I'm doing well, and I'm getting around and I'm enjoying the process. Like, I'm actually enjoying the process of becoming a doctor. So yeah, that would be where I would try the cutting. And also just pray to God and believe in yourself, believe in your ability to do well, because it's all about you. It's all about you. It's all about what you want for yourself, and also pray to God so that whatever you're applying or whatever course you actually end up doing is aligning with your purpose in life. Because everybody's created for a particular purpose, so it's aligning with the purpose you are created for, and you can also maximize your potential and also just to make life worth living. Just to enjoy every day. Wake up in the morning and enjoy every day. And then this does not mean that, as the medical said, I don't have my times of shaking. I have fair. I think I have a fair share of stress. Like, I think I have a fair share of medical school related stress and all. But above the stress, like we got like even above the stress, I think medical school still worth it for me. I think the decision still worth it, and I'm forever grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for God, and then my younger self for having that courage of saying that, okay, you're not going to do pharmacy. Like, pharmacy is not what we thought it was, and then choosing medicine. So like, I'm very grateful to that and all the people that supported me and believed in the journey, because it was just I just saw the flash of the this thing, but then we were able to make it. And yeah, the testimony that comes with this, that comes with involving God in all the process we do, was that, after like when I left Togo, like after 1 year, I thought that whenever I just think about it, even recently, whenever I think about it, I'll be like, hey, I didn't mean I don't leave this school, or I didn't mean I still did pharmacy. I'll be graduating this year, or this I'll be wearing my coat this year, or I'll be going for my national exam this year, and all of those things. Like, those things just come to my head once in a while. But then recently, my mom just told me that the school that I was applying to, like the school I went to in Togo, they had this Nigerian Pharmacy Council stamp. Like, they have this thing that when you're done with the school, you can actually go there for your license exam, and also you can go for serving up. If you want to serve the country, you can go from there. Like, after getting your license exam, you can go to serve and all of those things and do your own thing. Like, they just had all of those things put, only for me to hear that they've cancelled it since last year. Like, they cancelled their registration, they cancelled all those registration stuff. So even after you study for 4 years or 5 years in that, like, I didn't know, even after studying for 4 years or 5 years in that school, I would have probably, my earning would have probably just start from point zero again after 4 years, after 5 years, only for my earning to start from point zero again because I've always wanted to practice in Nigeria. So if I can't do my license exam in Nigeria, I can't practice as a pharmacy in Nigeria. So I have to choose another medical course and then spend another years in university. So like I'm very grateful. So what I'm just trying to say in excess is that involving God in every step of your life, in your plan, does not just only make it plan proof, it also make it grace proof and protection proof. Because everything God do for you, at times you will not see the clear picture. But then trust me, all of it are working together for your good. Well, that was our topic today. All right, take care of yourself.